What's going on, everybody? Today I want to talk a little bit about the Abyss and how my plans for it have changed. You see, I wanted to hop into the Abyss like today or tomorrow or sometime in the next few days, but then something changed. The content creators, we now have access to a content creator beta. This is brand new. Previously, we were given temporary access to champions for the purpose of testing on our live accounts. But there were lower level versions because they couldn't be too highly ranked, otherwise they would affect our prestige and that would be an unfair advantage. And we also had to burn our own energy refills. We had to burn our own potions and revives and stuff like that if we wanted to test out champions. So it was pretty difficult to test anywhere outside of Realm of Legends. Honestly, Realm of Legends is still a great testing area. Still going to see a lot of content in Realm of Legends just because it's easy to understand. And yeah, there's no special threes and things like that. But now in the content creator beta, we could have higher level champions and we could test in other places. And Karate Mike made videos testing out Sabretooth with a new synergy from Sasquatch here. Now, the synergy, it makes Sabretooth kind of insane. If we take a look at it here, only going to look at the Sabretooth part of all of this. It's the only thing I'm concerned about in this video. It says once per fight, throwing special attack 3 grants 1 persistent charge. There's a little bit of controversy with this because at the moment we don't know for sure what Kabam's intentions were with this node. We don't know if there's some sort of bug happening that is allowing Sabretooth to get a little bit crazier than he should. Because if we take a look at Sabretooth's abilities here, Sabretooth cannot convert his passive fury effects while fighting if he has 15 or more permanent passive fury effects active. Now the wording here is important because it says he cannot convert his passive fury effects while fighting, and that's technically true. Mid-fight, in the same fight, you cannot gain or you cannot convert temporary fury buffs into permanent passive ones. However, it's always existed that if you end the fight with Furies, with Sabretooth, those will be converted. So does that count as not while fighting then? I mean, that's how people are interpreting it, and I can't say that they're wrong. But at the same time, I don't know if this was intentional by the developers or not. And I'm going to show you just how crazy it gets in just a minute here, but I want to call that out, that you know, if what I'm about to show you actually works and actually is intended, well, then I'm going to be using Sabretooth in the Abyss more than likely, which means I also need to wait for Sasquatch to come out, and he needs to be in the arenas and things like that. So yeah, it's going to push back my run. That said, I do have a bunch of resources expiring because I was kind of planning on hopping in there soon. So I don't know, maybe I would still do one path without Sabretooth. I'm not too sure. I still have to think about it. This really kind of threw a wrench in all my plans, but I'll show you kind of the method for building this guy up, which is kind of crazy what you have to do. But in content like the Abyss, it could be worth it. It could be very worth it, actually. So this first fight against Thing, you basically would just spend all of your time ramping up with Sabretooth. You don't bring a counter to Thing anymore. You don't bring a Stealth Spidey or a She-Hulk to specifically counter this guy. Instead, what you do is you just build up Sabretooth. And the first, I'll show you just the initial first fight real quick, and then I'll show what you have to do once you kind of exceed your cap. Actually, first off, I started with 4 persistent charges. The first thing I would do is immediately back out because I want 6 persistent charges in order to actually have this be a run that I would be confident continuing. But let me just build to a special 3. Also going to try to convert these charges. Good, got that one. Alright, come on, Thing. Throw that special, buddy. Actually, hold on. There we go. Now throw that special. Thank you. Alright, I forgot to convert that Fury, but that's okay. So, I'm going to pop my special 3, and you're going to see that the persistent charge changed from 4 to 5. And that was always Sabretooth's limitation before, is that when ramped up, he actually does a lot of damage. He always has done a lot of damage, even when, you know, sticking to that 15 cap. I was able to convert that, nice. But the thing is, you only get that for a couple of fights. And so it was like, what's the point of ramping this guy up? It was just kind of a crappy experience, personally. Really didn't enjoy it. So I never bothered with that. Wow, I thought I converted that Fury. I wish the timing on it was just a little bit easier to do. All right, anyway, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna build to another special 3, because you can only gain 5 Furies in any one fight. So now what I have to do to kind of go beyond this cap is we need to end the fight with a special 3, essentially. Oh, geez, this is going to be awkward. He's at 15 charges. Well, that's okay. I don't really care about my health because I'm going to be ending the fight here in a second anyway. So, all right. Pop the special 3. I also had 1 Fury on me from crossing over the 10 threshold, hitting that 70 combo. So I'm actually going to gain 2 additional Furies from this. There we go. I hit 80 anyway. So now I'm just going to close out the fight. I'm just going to quit. That's it. That's fight number 1 in the books. So I'm just going to pop a revive. And we'll just go back in. And we'll just kind of repeat that over and over. So actually the first few fights are the longest fights. And I'll probably skip ahead, actually, so not to show you guys the full ramping up. I'll come back when I have 15 of the Furies, but I'm essentially just going to be doing exactly what I did in the first fight. You know, using an L3, but also converting the regular Furies, like the one that's on me right now, just by idling. Alright, so I'll catch back up with you guys when I have 15 of these. Alright, actually I have 14 right now, so this will be fine. Because I'm only going to be able to gain 1 more Fury, naturally, and which I'll get in just a minute here. Okay, there was 15. And now what I have to do, and what every fight is going to look like from this point forward, is I'm just going to build to a special 3. Which if this guy would throw his specials, thank you very much, Thing. Thank you for your cooperation. It's going to build to a special 3. And then I will just close out of the fight. Pretty simple. Something else to kind of keep in mind here too is that these opponents can evade. So technically, you also want to be careful. You really only want to hit the opponent when they're stunned to avoid having them evade. And yeah, I mean, it slows down the ramp up process a little bit, but it also makes it really safe. So I just pop my special 3. I close out of the fight. So now I'll pop this revive again, and we'll do this fight again. And now you can see that I'm at 17. So I'm just going to do some 3-hit combos. Actually, what I prefer to do is, even though you could do medium, light, medium, I like to do medium, light, light, and then dash back. It just makes the next parry, just lines it up that much easier. So really not too concerned with dealing damage to Thing. You can see he's still got a lot of life at the moment. And that's fine. The longer it takes to get through this fight, the more I'll be ramped up. So it's really not a big deal. So Thing is down, and now we're going to move on. And here's what I'm going to do for this next fight. And we're not doing a full run here, of course. But I think this is important. I have thought this through. What would I actually do if this is not a bug, if this is intentional? What am I actually going to do in a real situation? By the way, total time recording, including intro and everything up until this point, 36 minutes. Of course, I'm going to edit that down heavily so you guys don't have to see it all, but just to give some kind of an idea of how long it took to get to this point. Might as well heal him up a little bit too. But okay, and I'm actually not even sure how many revives I used. We can figure it out based off of the number of Furies I have. I was getting 2 Furies each fight. I probably used, I'm at 49, so 15 of them counted initially, right? So, God, it's so hard to do math while fighting. Yeah, it wasn't 20 revives. That's for sure. It was a little bit below 20 revives. Okay, but yeah, now you can see my damage is pretty high. Might not be as high as certain videos. If you've seen like some really crazy buildups and stuff like that, technically it's possible to get this guy higher. So yeah, you could do the same exact thing this fight if you really want to, but what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make sure I get to an L3, and I'm not gonna quit out of this fight. I'm gonna see how long it takes to solo this EX Omega Red. But you got to make sure to pop the L3 early on. That way, carry over that persistent charge once again. It's the most important thing. You don't want to go through a fight without having that persistent charge. So what I should have been doing, I don't even know if I was doing it, man, because fighting while talking, especially in a new area like this, new area for me at least, what you really should do is only attack while the opponent is stunned. Keep doing those 3-hit combos while the opponent is stunned, to make sure you can get to the L3. And then after that, I'm just gonna go crazy, man. I'm just gonna do 5-hit combos. I don't care. This fight, I don't have to really worry about the number of hits that I can do in this fight. I'm well ahead of the hit count up there, in terms of, you know, running out of hits before everything goes crazy. I'm gonna pop an L2 here. Probably not the best idea since it puts bleeds on Omega Red. I don't really want to hit him while he's bleeding. But just cause, man. Just cause why not? It's fun to do. In most fights, I will pop the L2s freely. In this one, maybe not so much. Omega Red, he doesn't have the highest crit chance, so that's kind of how the devs balanced his crazy ramp up. I mean, before this existed at least. They gave him a relatively low crit rate and just said, okay, you can get this guy's attack super high, but you're not going to have the highest of crits. But I don't think they imagined getting his attack this high. You could easily get Sabretooth to above 100,000 attack. And I'll kind of figure out a good estimate of where this guy's attack is at the end of this fight. But for now, yeah, man, I'm just having a little bit of fun plowing through. So if you pop another special 2, by the way, you do not gain another persistent charge. That would take things to a whole nother level if that was actually the case. And you could just infinitely ramp up the persistent charges so that you never have to worry about making a mistake. Because that is one huge difference between playing someone like Sabretooth compared to someone like Aegon. Aegon, you know, you would lose the combo count for that fight, but that's it. You know, Sabretooth, if you lose all of your persistent charges, well, that's it, man. You're done. You're not getting those Furies back unless you want to start that process over. So it's definitely worth playing a little bit more cautiously to deal all this damage. And yeah, I mean, I was ready to do the Abyss, but then after seeing this, man, like, I don't know, thinking kind of crazy thoughts. Sabretooth, I have a 6-star version. Do I take him to rank 3? I was going to use that class catalyst on Omega Red, but you know what? Maybe I'll get another class catalyst for clearing the Abyss, and if I can clear the Abyss that much faster, because I kind of need to clear all of the Abyss in order to get the 6 stones to even use my Omega Red, even if I get him to rank 3. So is it a wise investment to plow through the Abyss that much faster with a rank 3 Sabretooth? To give some kind of an idea, the difference between a rank 2 and a rank 3, each fight you quit out, the rank 3 is gaining about 300 attack over the whoops, push him to an L2. Oh well, you gain about 300 attack over the L2 version, so it will deal more damage, of course. All right, let's see. There we go. That should finish it. So not only was that an easy solo on Omega Red here, but I'm also going to carry over another almost 2,000 attack into the next fight. Whatever the next fight is. We're not going to go to the next fight, but Actually, you know, let me pop into the next fight just to see how many Furies I do have. And then we'll kind of figure out roughly where my attack is from here. So let's see who's next. Quake. Okay. So let's pop into this fight. I'm just gonna hit pause. Gotta wait, I guess. All right, 51. 51 is where I'm at. So give me a second just to crunch some numbers real quick. All right, I've crunched some numbers, and those 51 Furies come out to roughly 46,192 additional attack. So when counting in Sabretooth's base attack of 2704 as a rank 3 6-star, that's nearly 50,000 attack that Sabretooth has. And like I said, you can keep ramping this guy up if you want. I don't know what's best. I don't know if it's a good idea to do what I did and now just cruise through these fights and one-shot them, or if it is a better idea to keep ramping them up, if that's going to help out on fights like the Collector. I really don't know. But question is, I mean, is this even intentional? Again, it all comes down to that third bullet point there where it says Sabretooth cannot convert his passive Fury effects while fighting if he has 15 or more permanent passive Fury effects active. So what was intended by the developers, and even if the devs thought that at the time it was okay to exceed 15 in a very temporary way, since, you know, you only get a maximum of 6 persistent charges with this guy anyway, so even if you get lucky, you roll the 6 persistent charges at the start of the fight, you use the first 3 fights to get you know, 15 or technically a maximum of 17 in that time, and then you use the next couple of fights to grab a couple more. You're up to 21 Furies. Okay, big deal. You have that for literally one fight, and then you're back to 0. So whether that was intentional by the devs or not, it kind of didn't matter, right? It really didn't have an effect on people using Sabretooth one way or another. It was just cool to see in some videos. But then this synergy comes along, and I mean, I'm just taking a guess here. I'm guessing the synergy that adds a persistent charge to Sabretooth, I'm guessing that was something that was deemed as okay, because when looking at this, it seems like you could only get 15 Furies. Only someone who has played Sabretooth regularly to know that you can go above 15, and to know that would realize that, oh, this is going to create a whole new crazy OP champion where you basically have no limit on your attack, where you can achieve 100,000 attack at any time. That is a thing that is possible. Was the dev who made that synergy, did he realize that? Like, we don't know, man. We don't know if that was intentional or not. So what's Kabam gonna do at this point? I mean, the ball's in their court. We need to wait. It's the weekend right now, so we'll have to see when they're actually in the office. Give them some time to think about it too, I'm sure, and figure out what they want to do. If they want to change the synergy, change the way Sabretooth works, change whatever they want to change, or just say, pretty cool, let's leave it as is. So we'll see what Kabam does, but for now, I feel like I need to wait. Because this could save me so many resources. Even though I have resources expiring every single day, I'm just losing these revives that I could be spending in the Abyss. You know, this could potentially have me knock out all of the Abyss 100% in a very short period of time for significantly less resources, and yeah, I feel like I have to wait because of that. So yeah, man, that's what's going on with Sabretooth right now, and we'll have to see whether or not it was intentional or not. But in any case, that is going to do it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.